Hello students, myself is Narayan Kulkarni from Ferguson College, Physics Department. In the last lecture, we had seen the balancing condition of Wheatstone bridge. There we had seen that if four resistors P, Q, R and S in a particular manner, and when the bridge is balanced, that means when there is no current flowing through the galvanometer, we get the relation P upon Q equal to S upon R. We shall see now the next topic, that is the Wheatstone meter bridge. Wheatstone meter bridge, it is also used to determine the unknown resistance. Construction of the Wheatstone meter bridge. In this diagram, it is shown that this Wheatstone meter bridge, it consists of a long uniform wire of 100 centimeter in length. This is the wire AB, which is fixed on the wooden support having length 100 centimeter, that is 1 meter. Hence it is called the meter bridge, remember. Now there is a point A. This point A, it is fixed on the strip, L-shaped strip, it is shown here. Similarly, another point B, it is on the another L-shaped strip. These are the metal strips. There is one more metal strip, it is shown here. So this is also a metal strip. So we say on this wooden support, there are three metallic strips, they are placed. Between the two, there is a gap at the left, it is shown here LG, this is the left gap. Whereas here there is one more gap, that is RG, called right gap. In the left gap, unknown resistance X is connected, whereas in this right gap, known resistance or the resistance box R, it is connected. There are 2 points, this is C and this is D. Between these 2 points, a galvanometer is connected, whereas between the point A and this point B, a cell having EMF E, key K and rheostat RH, they are connected. So this is how the Wheatstone meter bridge, it is constructed. Now we shall see the working of this Wheatstone meter bridge. Now see here, remove a suitable resistance, say this is R, from the resistance box. Remove the suitable resistance from the resistance box. How much the value of suitable resistance is, it will depend upon where you want actually the balancing point. Balancing point, it is mostly taken at the middle 1/3 of the wire, that we shall see later on. Touch the jockey at different points on the wire AB. Now touch this jockey shown here J at different points on the wire AB and obtain a point D at which galvanometer shows zero deflection. Remember, this point D, it is the point at which galvanometer shows zero deflection. When we say galvanometer shows zero deflection, that means no current flows through the galvanometer, and we say that the bridge is balanced as before. We had seen this. So when this bridge, it is balanced, what we have then? Note the corresponding lengths Lx, that is equal to length AD, and Lr, that is equal to length dB. So this is Lx, that is length AD, this is Lr, that is length dB. Now, from the balancing condition, we know that X upon R equal to resistance of AD upon resistance of dB. The lengths that we had seen, their resistances are considered here, remember. So according to the balancing condition, we have X upon R, it is the resistance of that length, that is AD, upon the resistance of that length, that is dB. Then next, we know that resistance, it is given by rho, that is the specific resistance of the material, into L, that is length, and A, that is the cross-sectional area. See here in the diagram. R is the resistance of the wire, rho is its specific resistance, also called the resistivity, L, this is the length of the wire, and A, it is the cross-sectional area which is shown. This is the cross-sectional area. So if we know this, we can find out, that means specific resistance, it is the property of the material. If L and A, they are known to us, we can find the resistance of that wire. So it is given by R is equal to rho into L by A. Just we had seen where L is the length, rho is specific resistance, A is the cross-sectional area. Now, since the wire is uniform, uniform means what? There is no change in the breadth or the thickness of the wire, we can say. This is same, wire is uniform. Therefore, what is constant? A is constant, cross-sectional area, it is constant. And wire is of the same material. For example, this wire is of, say, copper. Then its specific resistance rho, it is same because it is the property of the material of the wire. Suppose that wire is of aluminum, so that rho will change. But when same wire we are using, its specific resistance, it is constant. So when the two things are constant, that means wire is uniform, therefore A constant, wire is of same material, therefore rho constant. So we write R is proportional to L. Resistance of that wire, it is proportional to the length of the wire. So this is one more equation, that is equation number 2 we got here. So therefore, from equations 1 and 2, what we get? This is our equation 1 and this is our equation 2. From this what we get then? X upon R from equation 1, that is equal to actually resistance of AD, equation 1 you see, divided by resistance of dB. But resistance is proportional to length, so we had written here X upon R is equal to length of AD upon length of dB. Remember, how much is the length of AD? We had seen it is Lx. How much is the length of dB? That is Lr. So we get X upon R equal to Lx upon Lr. Now, by knowing the values of R, R is the resistance. From the resistance box, it is known resistance. Also, the length Lx and Lr can be measured. So with this unknown resistance, X can be determined. So Wheatstone meter bridge, it is also used to determine the unknown resistance. Now, while doing this experiment, there are certain errors that are introduced, and because of which whatever the resistance measured may not have the correct value. So what are the sources of errors and how these errors can be minimized, that we shall see now. First error, it is due to the non-uniformity in the cross-sectional area of the wire. For example, suppose this is the wire having cross-sectional area, let us say A, uniform wire. So what we say here then, its resistance, if all other things are same, then it will be a constant everywhere. But suppose this wire is somewhere like this. That means it looks like this now. For example, suppose like this. That means this wire is not uniform. That means its cross-sectional area is not uniform. Therefore, the relation R is equal to rho into L by A, in which we have considered A constant, which is not so. So R proportional to L, it is not valid. So if this is so, that means if wire is a non-uniform, then there will be error in the measurement of the unknown resistance in the circuit. So this is one thing, because of the non-uniformity in the cross-sectional area of the wire. Next one, due to the contact resistance developed at the end of the wire, means what? We had seen that this is a wire AB, which is fixed on the support, and this is our L-shaped strip. This is one. This is say another. Here, contact resistances, they are developed. Now suppose we have taken the balancing length at the center of the wire. For example, the resistance is say 50 ohm. This is also 50 ohm. 1 ohm per centimeter if you take, then this length is 50 centimeter, this length is also 50 centimeter. Suppose there is a contact resistance of say 1 ohm at the either side of the wire, then if the balancing condition is at the center, then we get X upon R is equal to, actually without contact resistance, it is say 50 upon 50, considering 50 centimeter length with 1 ohm per centimeter resistance. So X by R will be equal to 50 upon 50 resistance. If we consider this contact resistance 1 ohm, it will be 51 divided by 51. That doesn't change the value of X by R. So if I take this balancing condition at the center, then there is no change in the measurement of the unknown resistance. But suppose this is taken somewhere else here, and this is say whatever, say 10, and other thing this is 90 for example. In this case, when we calculate this ratio, this may not be same as before. There is an error in the measurement of the X. So due to the addition of this contact resistance on the either side of the wire, the ratio measured X upon R may not be accurate. So that is the meaning of this. That is the second error introduced. Next one, the measurement of Lx and Lr may not be accurate because our scale may not be proper, may not be set properly. Because of that, whatever the error introduced, it is due to the measurement of Lx and Lr. So these are the three errors that are introduced while doing the Wheatstone meter bridge. Now how these errors, they are minimized. Now you see, the value of resistance R, it is so adjusted. See, before we have said, we said there that take a suitable resistance. What is that suitable resistance? Now you will understand it here. So the value of R is so adjusted that the null point is obtained between middle 1/3 of the wire. What is the meaning of middle 1/3 of the wire? That is between 34 centimeter and 66 centimeter. That means, again I will explain. For example, this is the wire having length say 100 centimeter. Then we shall adjust the resistance R so that the balancing condition will be in between this 34 and 66. So in between this region only the balancing condition will be obtained. On the either side, that is below 34 and above 66, it will not go. That is the meaning of this. What will happen with this? So that the percentage error in the measurement of Lx and Lr, it will be minimum and nearly same. So error will be minimum. I will not say it will be perfectly nullified, but it will be minimum in the tolerable region, we can say. So between this middle 1/3 of the wire, because of which whatever the error introduced due to contact resistance, that is, we can say it will be minimized. It will be largely minimized when we take the balancing condition at the center of the wire, that is say at 50 centimeter. So remember this. So with this we can minimize the error. Next one. The experiment is repeated by interchanging the gaps or the positions. The experiment is repeated by interchanging the positions of the unknown resistance X and the known resistance R. That means unknown resistance we have connected in the left gap, if you see the diagram. Known resistance, it is taken at the right gap. If I interchange the gaps and do the experiment again, so whatever there is an error due to the non-uniformity of the wire, for example, it will be minimized. So by interchanging the gaps, we can also minimize the error introduced while doing the experiment. And the last one, the jockey should be tapped. When we do the experiment, actually we tap the jockey at different points on the wire AB to obtain the balancing point. So it should be tapped. It should not be slided over the wire. What will happen if we slide the wire? Because of which a heat may be generated. And when heat is generated, resistance of the wire changes. If resistance changes, then true value of unknown resistance again cannot be measured. So these are the three ways by which we can minimize whatever the errors they are introduced while doing the Wheatstone meter bridge. Now how this Wheatstone meter bridge actually it looks, just I want to explain you here. See, this is a uniform wire, long uniform wire having length from this point A to this point C, we can say here. So this is a long uniform wire. Actually it is placed here. This is a meter scale and this is a long wire, it is placed here. Wire, uniform wire. Then from this it is connected to this battery, say positive terminal of battery. Then from this connected to this key. Then this key, it is connected to the other end. Galvanometer, it is connected between the 2 points. Say this is one end of the galvanometer connected to this point B, and this is another end which is actually connected to this jockey which slides over the wire. A resistance box, it is connected in the right gap, and there is unknown resistance which is connected in the left gap. Say this is X. So this is how the arrangement it looks when you do the experiment in your laboratory. Just for your information, I had shown this diagram. I want to tell you that there is a YouTube link. If you go on this link and if you see, then this Wheatstone meter bridge experiment which is better explained there, so you will better understand that experiment. So because of that, I had given this link, so you can follow the link and just see how the explanation is made there. Okay, we shall go for the numerical now. 4 resistors having values 10, 10, 10 and 15 ohm form a Wheatstone network. What shunt is required across 15 ohm resistor to balance the bridge? See, there are 4 resistors, 10, 10, 10 and 15 ohm. They form a Wheatstone network. Now we know what is Wheatstone network. What is asked? What shunt is required? Remember, what is the meaning of shunt? Shunt is a low resistance connected in parallel. I'll repeat again. Shunt, it is the low resistance connected in parallel. So it is what shunt is required across 15 ohm resistor to balance the bridge. That is what is asked. So there are 4 choice given, 10, 15, 20 and 30. We shall try to solve this. See here, first of all, 4 resistors, 10, 10, 15 and 10. They are connected so that they form a Wheatstone network. And what is the value of shunt? That is a S, which is connected in parallel with this 15 ohm resistor. We have to calculate that value of S. So let S be the shunt connected across 15 ohm resistor. Now, bridge is balanced. When the bridge will be balanced, we know now that when this 10 upon this 10 equal to this 10 upon this net value of these 2 resistances, that is parallel combination of 15 and S. So this is 10 upon 15 parallel with S. That is the condition for the bridge to be balanced. So with this then, we have 10 upon 10, that is 1, that is equal to 10 upon 15 parallel S. That means 15 ohm connected in parallel with this S. So this is nothing but 15S upon 15 plus S. This gives me 10. Just we have solved this, equal to 15 into S upon 15 plus S. So on solving, we get S equal to 30 ohm. Just when you solve this equation, you will get value of shunt, that is equal to 30 ohm. So we get this answer. So just we can find out with the help of this Wheatstone network, whatever the unknown resistances, how they can be calculated. One more numerical we shall see. What is given? A uniform wire, it is cut into 2 pieces. See, one wire is uniform and it is cut into two pieces such that one piece is twice as long as the other. That means suppose wire is of say length L, then these two they are cut in such a way. See here in the diagram, this is the wire having say resistance R and length L, a uniform wire, long wire. Then it is cut into two pieces. This is piece 1, this is piece 2, we can say. Here we had said resistance is R1, this length is say L1. Similarly, this is R2, this is L2. We shall see in the problem what is asked and what is given. When two pieces are connected in parallel in the left gap, remember, if these two pieces they are connected in parallel in the left gap of meter bridge and the resistance of 20 ohm, it is connected in the right gap. If 20 ohm is connected in the right gap, what is given? The neutral point, that is balancing point, it is obtained at a distance of 60 centimeter from the right end of the wire. This is important. From the right end of the wire. 60 centimeter from right end. What is asked? Find the resistance of the wire before it was cut into two pieces. This is important. Before it was cut into two pieces. So see what is asked and what is given. I will explain again. What is given just from the diagram we shall see. A long wire, uniform wire having resistance R, say length L, cut into two pieces. The first one, that is having resistance R1, length L1, second resistance R2, length L2, given that this L2 is 2 times L1, it is given. If this is so, and if the wire is uniform, we can say R2 is equal to 2R1. This is important. Length is given, L2 equal to 2L1, from which we had written R2 is equal to 2R1 because wire is uniform. And same wire we have cut into pieces, so material is also same. Therefore, R2 is equal to 2 times R1. So that is what is explained. So let L, R and L be the resistance and length of the wire before cutting. So we have to find R, remember. That is the important thing. Again, let R1 and L1, R1 L1 and R2 L2 be the resistances and lengths of the wires after cutting. We had seen that. Given L2 equal to 2L1, so we have R2 equal to 2R1 since wire is uniform. We had seen that also. Also, R1 and R2 are in parallel and they are connected in the left gap. See here, R1 and R2, they are connected in parallel in the left gap and 20 ohm resistance in the right gap. And what is said? Balancing point is obtained at a distance of 60 centimeter from the right end. This is important, not the left end. So if this is 60 centimeter, this must be 40 centimeter because this is a meter bridge. Total length is 100 centimeter. That is the meaning. So then we have in the left gap resistance, what will be Rp equal to R1 R2 upon R1 plus R2. We can write this as R1. How much is R2? We had seen just now. It is twice R1. So substituted here R1 plus twice R1. So we get this as 2 times R1 by 3. Say this is equation 1. So this much is the resistance in the left gap of this meter bridge. Now, with Rp in the left gap and 20 ohm in the right gap, bridge is balanced. That is given. Just I explained now. So we write this as Rp upon 20. So this is say Rp. So this is Rp upon 20 equal to 40 upon 60, from which we get Rp equal to 40 by 3. That is the second equation. So we got two equations. Then, therefore, from equations 1 and 2, what is first equation? Rp equal to 2R1 by 3. What is second equation? Rp equal to 40 by 30. Comparing the two equations, that is Rp equal to 2R1 by 3, that is 40 by 3, we get R1 equal to 20 ohm. After solving, we get R1 is 20 ohm and we know R2 is equal to 2 times R1, so it must be equal to 40 ohm. So R1 is 20 and R2 is 40. This is shown by a blue color because these are not the answers which are asked. What is asked? That is important. The resistance before cutting, that is important. So what it should be? R should be equal to R1 plus R2, that is 20 plus 40, so that is 60 ohm. So the resistance of the wire before cutting must be 60 ohm. That is the answer. We shall see one more numerical here. See, the current of 2 ampere enters at the end A. See here, this is the current of 2 ampere. It enters at end A of a Wheatstone bridge A, B, C, D. Given here A, B, C and D. A bridge is formed. Find the potential difference between B and D. So potential difference between B and D, it is asked. A simple circuit it is given here. Okay, so what is given? Current I is equal to 2 ampere, it is given. And what we have to find out? Potential VB minus VD. That is what we have to find out. VB minus VD. We shall try to solve this. Now see here. From figure, it is clear that along ABC, A, B and C. What is the resistance? 2 plus 3, that is 5 ohm. Okay. Along ADC, what is the resistance along ADC like this? What is the resistance? 3 plus 2, that is again 5 ohm. From diagram it is clear. Therefore, same current will flow through ABC and ADC. Why it is? Because total resistance in ABC is 5. In ADC it is also 5. Current entering is 2 ampere. So 1 ampere must go here and 1 ampere must go here. So the total current in either ABC and ADC, it must be 1 ampere. Therefore, potential difference across AB. So what will be the potential difference across AB? Always remember, when current goes from A to B, definitely what it indicates that current goes from higher to lower potential. Potential of A must be greater than that of B. So we had written this is VA minus VB. So this is equal to 2 into 1. 2 is the resistance, 1 is the current. So this is 2 volt. So potential drop across this AB is 2 volt. Next, potential drop across AD, that should be VA minus VD. So this is VA minus VD, same. This is 3 into 1, that is equal to 3 volt. 3 is the resistance, 1 is the current. So this is 3 volt. Now, potential difference across BD, that is what we have to calculate. So potential drop across BD must be equal to VB minus VD. That is equal to, just what we have done here, we have added and subtracted VA. So VB minus VD plus VA minus VA. It will not change the value. Now let us rearrange the terms. So what we have done here, VB minus VA, this is our VB, this is our minus VA, they are taken, and then VA minus VD, this is VA and this is minus VD. So same terms, just we have rearranged the terms. Now VB minus VA, if you see back, VA minus VB is 2. So VB minus VA must be minus 2, remember. And VA minus VD, that is 3. Therefore, this value equal to 1 volt. So potential difference between B and D must be 1 volt. So this is the answer. So in this lecture, we had seen the construction and working of the Wheatstone meter bridge, and we have solved some numericals on the Wheatstone meter bridge.